Hello everybody and welcome back to the studio. This is my top 5 plugins for guitar. These aren't necessarily the top 5 I would pick if I was doing a mixing edition, which that video is coming. But these are great plugins for guitar, great effects, great to get it to sit in the mix well, and just add some excitement to your guitar tracks. I'm going to start with the B section of what I played you. There's no real order of these plugins, except I'm going to save my top 2 for last. And you're going to hear a lot of Soundtoise stuff on here, but they're not all Soundtoise, so you're going to have to stick around. I really recommend buying the bundle, especially if you're a guitar player. I started out with just Echo Boy for a long time. Then I got Tremulator and Micro Pitch, and they sounded so good, I just bought the whole bundle. And there's a lot of tools for really being creative on guitar in that bundle. So the first plugin you're going to hear in this B section is Filter Freak 2. There's Filter Freak 1 and Filter Freak 2. You get them both when you buy the plugin. It's just the number of filters. There's 2, like a high pass and a low pass in Filter Freak 2, and there's just 1 filter in Filter Freak 1. Both very useful. And let's hear the difference when we cut the Filter Freak on. There's some great presets. I recommend tweaking your presets a little bit. They're a good starting point, but you want to build on that. Lately, I'm pretty happy with how the channel's performing. In YouTube Studio, the analytics are looking up. I've more than doubled my subscriber count. My latest video has 2,200 views. I still definitely have a long way to go big picture. If you subscribe to the channel, it's going to help the algorithm get these videos out to more people, and I would really appreciate it. Also, like and leave me a comment. Tell me what kind of plugins you're using on your mix bus for guitars, etc. I'd really like to hear what everybody's going through, and I'm going to keep making these videos on an even more regular basis, so stick around. You're not going to want to miss it. The next 2 plugins I want to talk about are both on this B section guitar part as well. The first one is called Sie-Q from Soundtoise. It's an EQ, but it's specifically great on guitar. I use Pultex and a Better Maker, things like that on my mix bus and on drums. This Sie-Q just works for guitar. It works as like a great effecty type of EQ. If you just look at the presets, some of the terms on there, scooped, smile curve, telephone, these are things you'll hear talking about guitar amplifiers or guitar pedals. I have an XTS modded Boss EQ on my board, and this does, some of these settings do the same thing as that Boss EQ in a plugin. The one I'm using on here is called Thickener. Sounds great. And the next one is a delay, and I'm using it as an insert, not on an aux. We'll talk about auxes later, but this Primal Tap is another Soundtoise plugin, and it's got a mix control on it, so you can use it like an aux send with that mix level knob. It's actually a slider on this, and it's great. The preset I'm using on this, I've tweaked it a little bit, but it's called Drew's Closet. It's like a slapbacky thing. All right, we've reached the top two. These are my two favorite plugins to use on guitar, and stick around till the end because I do have a couple honorable mentions. Let's go back to the intro section of the song and take a look. This is my favorite plugin to use on guitar as an insert, the UA Waterfall. I'm using a preset called More Than Subtle. This is a fast modulating preset. There's some great slower modulating stuff and even a break mode. These are going to give you more of a mid-range bump than modulation. They're all great if you have a part that's rather lifeless and you need to put some energy back into it. The UA Waterfall is really good for that. Of course, the Leslie rotating speaker has been a classic ever since it was introduced, and I use it all over my recordings. Let's talk for a moment about aux sends. An aux send is my favorite way to use an effect in parallel. If you put an effect on an aux send, you can run as much of the wet signal into the dry as you like. It gives you maximum control. Also, with an effect on an aux send, you can run as many different tracks into that effect as you like and save on CPU. My favorite effect to use on guitar on an aux send is Echo Boy from Soundtoise, and this gives you all the classic tape echoes, bucket brigade delays, digital delays. They're all in here. I like it so much. I have 3 of them in my template on auxes. I have a Benson Echo Rec, a Roland Space Echo, and an Echoplex. I'll oftentimes change one of them if I'm not using it to a slapback for drums. There's presets for drums on here. And you get much more than that. You get Memory Man, Boss DM2, Telray, which is Fender Telray, like an oil can delay, a telephone type of effect, digital delays, analog delays, CE1 chorus, which is the classic Boss chorus, also the Roland Jazz chorus. They're all in here. It sounds great. All right, let's talk about these honorable mentions. On the A section track, I was very up in the air about whether to use the UA Waterfall or Micro Pitch. I tried them both together and it was a little too processed sounding, but there's some great sounds in the Micro Pitch. It's another Soundtoise plugin. Like I said, the whole Soundtoise bundle is great. Also, on all of these tracks, you were hearing a UA LA2A and a Plug-in Alliance Neve 1073. I also track through a BAE 1073 mic preamp. I like the utility aspect of the Plug-in Alliance 1073. It's got the noise gate, it's got a compressor if you want it, and the LA2A just makes everything sound better. As far as digital amps go, there's one I like, the Neural Tone King. It sounds really good. It's CPU heavy. If I use more than one instance of it, I usually have to freeze some tracks, but I use it more as a practice tool. When I'm tracking music, I always go through the real amps.